The opinions expressed on the Custody Queen Show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal, professional legal advice. The persons discussed are fictional and not based on actual clients.
Thought it was love, had kids in between. You can count on us, we're the Custody Queens. Yeah, you can count on us, we're the Custody Queens.
You know what time it is. It's time for the Custody Queens. I'm producer Cam, and I'm here for Kristen today, but I'm still with Sam. What's up, Sam?
Not much. Kristen Holstrom is with us in heart and soul today.
And spirit, yes, she's here.
She's doing something much more exciting. I'm just kidding. Nothing is more exciting than the radio. We miss her very much, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, she'll be back next week. So, I mean, you get all to answer all the questions, and I know you're ready for it.
I'm beyond ready.
But before we do that, you know we're going to do CQ Talk Box because we love to get to know each other, put each other on the spot, and in pure Kristen essence, making you embarrassed. So, here we go. For the CQ Talk Box. Okay. What was your first impression of me?
My first impression of you was that I liked you a lot because you're a loud hippie.
I'm a loud hippie. Okay, I liked you a lot.
You have a warm soul and you wear it on the outside.
Oh, thank you. I try. I don't think I'm that, intimidating or, I don't have resting bee face or anything like that.
I definitely do. What was your first impression of me?
Well, you're tall and beautiful, so you are physically intimidating, but you are very funny. And I was like, Sam is funny. And one time you called me smart, and I was like, ooh, I like her.
Anyone that can give a good compliment.
All right, I'm with it. So, yeah, no, it was all good things, definitely.
Well, I'm short in my family.
That is crazy to think of, because you're a giant human.
Yes, I have 25 first cousins on my dad's side, and my aunts are like 6'2", 6'3". So I'm short.
That is crazy. And always in the pursuit of coziness, right?
Always in the pursuit of coziness. There's nothing more important.
I know.
And
so you can always give you blankets and you're happy.
Yep.
Okay, that's good to know. So we have a bunch of emails. We're here on location in Las Vegas. Are you having fun here?
I'm having a blast.
Really? What's your favorite part so far?
Just getting cozy in the bed, snuggling up. Weather's great outside. Not too hot, not too cold, so I can't complain.
Right. It's perfect right now. Perfect Vegas weather. All right.
I could use a margarita, but
Can we all, girl? All right. Well, when we wrap, how's that?
Sounds great.
Do you have a special flavor you like?
Of margarita?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not a flavor, but I like a fancy margarita.
What does fancy mean?
I'm glad you asked. So, I feel like if you go to a restaurant, most restaurants will have that margarita, right? Whatever it is. If it's a mint margarita, it's a jalapeno margarita, whatever it is. I want your best margarita.
You want fancy schmancy.
I'm not interested in a regular margarita. I'm interested in whoever has their favorite margarita. I want to try that.
Okay. I'm spicy. I like spicy. So you pretty much will get me with that.
You're jalapeno all the time.
Spicy, and I also like mezcal, which is the smoky tequila.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm about that.
Are you salt on the rim?
No, I don't like anything on. Well, I've changed. I like tahini on my rim.
Okay.
Okay. I know.
Interesting.
Yes. Getting to know. All right. How about we jump into a question?
Okay.
So I'll actually have to put my reading glasses on for this because I'm old. Okay, Sabrina from Pasadena emailed in, "Hi, Custody Queens. I'm in a really bizarre situation. My ex-partner recently got a pet wolf as a guardian for our child. They claim it's for protection, but I'm worried about the safety of our child during visitation. Can I request a court order banning exotic animals from their home?"
Hi, Sabrina.
Have you ever heard of a question like this before?
No, but I have been in family law long enough to know that there are no surprises. There's always something new and unusual, and every fact pattern is different. My first question is this an actual wolf?
Or like a wolf hybrid? Well, all I have is what they wrote in and says wolf. So I think we have to go under the presumption that it's an actual wolf.
Okay, well, I mean, and I can answer it both ways, but to me, there's a wolf, and then there's a wolfie, which would be like a husky or something.
No, I don't believe it's that.
Okay.
I believe it's something, well, if they're saying an exotic animal, I just don't believe it's a Siberian husky type of dog. I believe it's something a lot more, dangerous than that.
Okay. Well, I think that the answer is somewhat simple in that in any scenario, if there is a legitimate safety concern, that's obviously something that you want to bring to your attorney's attention and possibly the judge. You may not like the overall outcome or the safety precautions that are first put in place. I don't think that it would be unreasonable to ban an exotic animal and or a wolf from a child. I think that's pretty much common sense. But this would be more far-reaching. I mean, what if you had a dog who had a dangerous propensity or had bitten other dogs before that was out in the yard, right? That might give you grounds to not necessarily go in and take custody from the other person or the other parent, but it might give you grounds to put in safety precautions. Safety precautions could mean that you can't have contact with that animal or safety concern. And if you're not going to listen to the court, then the court might put you on supervised visits, meaning that you can see your child at a McDonald's or a park for a couple of hours because you're not taking those necessary steps. So I definitely think that you're not alone in that, Sabrina, in that if you have a safety concern, it's important to bring it to your attorney's attention and the court's attention and the other parent, right? Even if somebody is saying, hey, look, I'm doing this, like getting a wolf for protection, I think the first thing to do would be to talk to the other parent to see if you can come to some sort of meeting of the minds, because I don't think that anyone would assume that a wolf could be trained to a capacity to be safe around a child.
What are the chances you think that parent watched Game of Thrones?
100% out of 100% guarantee, and I don't guarantee much.
That was the only time I really got upset in Game of Thrones, is when one of the wolves died. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure in other states like Florida, someone would have a pet alligator or a crocodile or something. Same rules you would think apply. Safety is safety.
Safety is safety.
Got it. Okay. Now, Jeanette from Upland emailed in. Hey, ladies, I love the show. Why, thank you so much. I just wanted to know what your favorite TV, movie, or couple is. Thanks, ladies. I'll tune in to hear.
My favorite TV, movie, or couple?
It's a hard one to put on the spot.
That's so hard. What's
I
yours?
know. Well, I think I should answer in as if I'm Kristen.
Okay, what's Kristen's?
Well, who's on SEAL Team?
It's not going to be her favorite couple.
Really? There's not a couple on there that would be her favorite?
I don't know. You tell me. You're Kristen for the day.
I don't know. If you're asking me, it's going to be Brandon and Brenda's Walsh's parents from 90210. But that's what I would say.
Well, if you're asking me, I would probably say Corey and Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Wow. Okay. I don't even know.
It's a classic show.
I'm aware.
Feeney's got some serious lessons. Listen, I was raised on Feeney.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's great to know. If I get any of the cast members on there for you, I know that I'll be winning.
Yeah, beyond. Okay, good. Not like Leland Chapman winning, but
that
close.
Was pretty good when I did that.
Close. Yes, Cam got my celebrity crush, Leland Chapman, to wave hello to me on a video, and I'm still quite happy.
Do you watch it sometimes?
When I'm sad.
Oh,
yeah,
that's so nice. No one gets me celebrity crush videos, and we all know who my celebrity crush is. Brett Michaels.
Oh, stop.
It's true. Okay, let's do the next one. Jessica from Pomona emailed in. Hey, custody queens. My ex-spouse has taken his obsession with fantasy novels to a whole new level. Him and his wife decided to legally change their name to Lord of the Realm and want our children to refer to them as such. Can I argue that their behavior is negatively impacting our kids' emotional well-being and use it against them in a custody battle? This all seems very crazy to me.
Well, that's kind of a complex question, actually. Now, disliking something that the other parent does in and of itself doesn't necessarily meet the best interest standard or cause concern for the court that someone's doing something detrimental to a child. If your child is having an emotional reaction to something and you believe that in experiencing your child, this is sort of set in path by the other parent, you may go to court, you may ask for a modification, but you probably need a therapist in there. You might need a child custody evaluation. Just having an oft name isn't, again, in and of itself gonna be necessarily grounds to change anything, but this is one of those things similar to the wolf, that if every case is unique, every fact pattern is unique. And so you can't just say that because someone is calling themselves something different, that there aren't other things going on in that parent's life that maybe are also causing an emotional impact or something negative on the child. And so that might need to be evaluated. It could also be that you just don't like it as the other parent and it doesn't have any real relation to custody and visitation, and you gotta just move on. But every fact pattern, again, is different, so that's why it's really important to call an attorney to talk about your specific facts. I'm assuming there's a lot more there than just the title or the name that a child is calling a parent. If it's just that, might be out of luck. But in any event, feel free to give Custody Queens a call at 1-800-419-7772. That's 1-800-419-7772.
Yeah, I think that if it's just a name, fine. But if it's something they're bonding over, like LARP, live action role playing, and it's really gotten over the line, then I could see. And, I've decided, Sam, you're to call me Goddess of the Universe from now on.
Yes, and I will take that into consideration. And in legal land, we'll call that under submission, which means you won't hear back from us.
Crickets. Okay, next one. Haley from Montrose emailed in, "Hey Queens, do you both have any crazy family rules in your houses growing up?"
I had a couple of weird ones, and I think that they were passed down from my grandmother, but we joke, my sister and I actually joke. I have one sister, Natalie, and we always joke that we never kind of understood our childhood and some of the rules that our parents gave us didn't make sense. One of them was that my mom always said, and I think she got this from my grandmother, that if you eat the crust of bread, that you will get curly hair.
No way.
And we always wanted to have curly
that.
hair. Well, clearly, I have stick straight, stringy hair without extensions and a lot of hair product. So yeah, clearly that didn't work. I ate a lot of crust on a lot of bread.
You wanted curly hair.
Desperately.
We all want
Says
what we don't have.
every girl with stick straight hair, right? Like, I wanted curly hair so bad, Cam, that I, those little tight curlers that make you like Shirley Temple?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. Okay, so I would do that
really?
Once a month, and then just go to school with this little, tiny little curly mop, just because I wanted curly hair so bad. And then my best friend got a perm, and I begged my mom to let me have one.
She didn't let you have a perm?
No.
Perms are coming back, especially for young boys. Did you know that?
No.
They want the moppy, fluffy
I'd be so
hair.
down to have a perm right now.
Really?
Yeah.
They smell really bad. Like when you're in the hair place and somebody's getting one.
Well, the only thing I know about perms is from Legally Blonde. So
okay.
That's all.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on. Mila from Van Nuys. Custody Queens, I need your help. My ex and I have split custody of our children, but he recently converted his garage into a full-blown arcade with loud music and flashing lights. It's becoming a distraction during homework and bedtime routines. Can I petition the court to limit the playtime environment during their visitation? Well, I want to go there.
I was about to say, that sounds fun. Okay, so again, I know that I continue to kind of make this point, but I think it is a really important one, is that every case is different. And so you don't know necessarily what the outcome is going to be unless you know, one, a lot more information, what is going on with the other parent, what the current custody order is, what judge you're in front of. So there's a lot of really fact-sensitive things at play there, but just in general, if you think about it, so how does that parent know that the distraction for homework is because of the arcade. So you need to figure out how that happened. Also, do you have a child that's getting A's in school? Or do you have a child who is academically suffering? Are there limits that you can put on another parent potentially? Yes, but the court doesn't want to step in too much and get into co-parenting. The court wants to make a general outline for custody, and we can make those orders very specific, and it's important to get those specific orders. But if, for example, your parent or your house is more conducive to schooling or the school environment, that might be an option. Talking to the other parent about tutoring might be another option. If you see a decline in grades and they are just completely ignoring you, then yeah, you might go to court, you might file a motion. Kristen and I really don't want to just run into court over every little issue, because candidly, you're gonna have a lot of issues throughout your case, and you need to learn how to get along. Now, that might be the issue, right? So if you take out the arcade, you might have a child who then starts doing a lot better in school. But if you have a child that's doing really good in school and another parent just really doesn't like what that parent is doing, that's not necessarily a grounds to tell the court that this is not in the child's best interest.
I was also thinking as you were speaking, like if a child has any type of medical issues like epilepsy, where flashing lights and noise would maybe induce a seizure, then
Right.
that would definitely be a safety concern. And then we're talking again, safety is safety.
And that's a great example of how such a one fact can change the whole basis for the case. Because certainly if there is a way to show the court that, look, I can tell you that this action that's occurring in the other parent's care is detrimental, then that is a way to potentially change custody. And then the other route is, instead of finding actual detriment, showing the court, hey, this is a better routine, or this would be in our child's best interest, and here's why you should make these orders. But ultimately, you don't want to get into too much, hey, what is happening at the other parent's house, because then they're just going to turn around and do it to you. And you have 18 years, so you need to learn how to get along.
So just side note, does that ever backfire when you go in with a strategy of, I'm going to showcase the imperfections of my co-parent's behavior, and the judge goes, you're just throwing, dirt or shade, and could it backfire on you?
Certainly, and it does. And that's what that's a really good point, Cam, is that you need to be very careful with how you're presenting your case to a judge. You may have the best intentions, you may be legitimately concerned about something, you may know your child more than anyone else in the world, but when you're going into court and you're before a judge in California, a lot of times on these motions, we call them RFOs or requests for order, you're only in front of a judge sometimes for 15-20 minutes. That's not enough time for you to describe with particularity all the intricacies of your life and really show your child. And so you have to be careful, because every word counts. So even if you don't have an attorney, you want to talk to an attorney so that you can understand exactly how important that fact is. Safety always comes first. But outside of safety, then you need to start thinking to yourself, okay, how much am I trying to change the custodial arrangement, right? I can't go in and say there's a safety concern on one hand and then say, but I want dad to have every other weekend, because then you're not scared.
I think you've said this before. Does this help or does this hurt my case?
Right. Yeah. And you would be surprised what could hurt your case. I mean, if a court really thinks that you're abusing the court process or that you're nitpicking, then you could get admonished by the court, or custody could change. Something people don't realize, and this shouldn't shy people away from filing custody and visitation motions, but when you file a custody and visitation motion, you're putting that at issue before the court. What that means is the court can make orders over custody and visitation. It does not mean the court can only make the orders that you're requesting over custody and visitation. Custody and visitation's on the table. So if you go in and say, I want to take a weekend from dad, you could lose a weekend yourself.
Right. If the judge thinks you're wasting the court's time, you might be punished for it.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be punished, like the court should not punish you from a point of view of, I'm going to take away time with your child because of this, but it can backfire on you. Court can say, well, I don't believe that's a good fact, and in fact, I think you're not co-parenting and you guys need co-parenting classes, and make whatever arrangement is in the best interest of the child.
So that makes me think of 2 points. One, your representation is very important, Because if you only have 15 minutes in front of the judge, those 15 minutes have to count.
Yeah, and it's the rest of your life, right? You're only in court maybe a couple times a year while you're going through the process, and then hopefully not very much thereafter. But it's, in addition to it just being the 15 minutes, there's a lot of behind the work action, right? So there's filing your pleadings, there's writing your declaration, and so there's a lot of information that you want to feed the court, and make sure that you're feeding the court the right information, because there could be a really important fact that you just don't know is important to the court, and if you miss it, you could have completely different orders, which is scary, right? Because it's your life and it's your children.
Sure. And I also, my second point to that was the Custody Queen slogan is let love rule. You really have to find that the love for your children outweighs your hatred for your ex-spouse, and that you have to find a way to come together to co-parent for the betterment of your children and their lives and your lives overall. Because when the co-parents are getting along, I guarantee you the children are in a better, happier, more stable place, correct?
Yeah. And Kristen actually preaches this a lot. You really have to put your children first. You have to. And sometimes that means that you're going to do more driving than the other parent. And sometimes that means that you're not going to have that Wednesday overnight because it's for the best interest of your child. And so I would really challenge all of you out there, and Kristen and I always challenge our clients to do this, is to really take a step back and put yourself in the position of your children and understand that absent safety issues, they need to have a stable schedule, whatever that looks like. Now, you can't necessarily cause your other parent to really get along with you. You can do things to try to make them get along with you, but you have to take care of your side of the street. And you really need to start thinking about how having conflict between parents can actually cause damage to your child.
Sure. I hope that all parents hear that statement right now, because it reigns true whether you're together or whether you're not.
Right.
Okay, let's get back to questions because we have a few more.
Okay.
Matt from Sierra Madre emailed in, "Hey Kristen and Sam, I try to catch the show when I can. I had a personal question. What is each of your perfect night out? Thanks, ladies. Can't wait to hear."
Well, I can answer Kristen's and
I
mine.
was going to say, I think I can answer Kristen's
I can
as
100%
well.
answer Kristen's. Kristen's is, her perfect night out would be, you get her, actually her perfect weekend out would be you get her a hotel room where she can turn the AC down.
They're all the way down.
Yeah, and then she needs unlimited access to every type of TV programming possible.
Check.
She needs probably a bag of bath bombs because she's going to be in the bath a lot, and she needs unlimited room service.
And good room service.
Good room service, yeah. That's her
where she
absolute-
orders one of each of everything.
Right. Forever, yeah.
Yes, and no children.
Yeah.
That's a perfect weekend.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she'd probably like to go see her kids play soccer.
Yeah. But that
she
night
loves-
sleeping.
Maybe even if you got like a projector set up so that she could see her kids playing soccer from her hotel room, that's an idea.
That is nice.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. My perfect night?
Yeah, what's yours?
It's not the same. It'd probably be similar.
Don't say eating Doritos in your bed with your dog Pam.
No, that's the old me. Okay.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
We have a new me?
No, well, the new me likes Lay's and not. I've.
What kind of Lay's?
You know, I'm just really into the classic
Potato chip,
Lay.
the yellow bag?
The original chip, in my
I'm
opinion.
with you on this.
The original chip.
Can't mess with an original potato chip.
Perfect amount of saltiness. No, I like to spend time in. I do. The older I get, the more I like to be in and be cozy. Maybe make a nice dinner and just chill out.
Do you have a signature dish that you like to make?
Or
Or when you're showing off to someone, what would you make? Like, what do you think
First
you're
of
good
all,
at?
I do not show off. Anyone that knows me knows that cooking for me is I can figure out how to put the setting on the bagel when I put it in the toaster. So you're not gonna get much from me. You're just not, right? But if you ask, the trick to that is if you are a terrible cook, then all of your friends are good cooks. So if you notice around me, like my friend Ashley, who you know well, personal
do.
injury attorney, she's a foodie. So
She is.
kind of will direct food there, right?
I literally text her for recommendations.
Right, she's excellent. And then I
Yes.
have other friends that are really good cooks. So if you're the worst cook in the group, I mean, they're all losing out because I'm just eating. But look, I've come 34 years now, and I'm just not going to be able to start cooking.
We all have our strengths.
Mine's eating.
Mine's sleeping.
Hey, I'm pretty good at sleeping too.
I'm really good at sleeping. Okay, let's do another one before we wrap up. Okay, Sarah from Los Angeles emailed in, "Hello, custody queens. My ex-partner has an unusual obsession with conspiracy theories. He's constantly bombarding our children with outlandish ideas and claims, which is causing confusion and distress. Can I request supervised visitation until they seek professional help to address their conspiracy theory fixation?"
Okay, so all these questions today, I think, fall sort of, again, under the same umbrella. It kind of depends, right? And I'm not saying that you're exaggerating the conspiracy theory or anything like that, but you need a lot more information. And it sounds to me like this case is screaming a custody evaluation. A custody evaluation is realistically where the court appoints an expert pursuant to a California code and an evidence code to have a neutral expert basically do an evaluation on both parents. They make collateral contacts, they meet with the child, they do testing, and they really provide a more detailed analysis to the court from an expert point of view regarding what's going on. So it's kind of hard to tell on the surface. It seems like it could be quite concerning, but we don't know what the total impact is. I'm also a really big proponent, and so is Kristen, of therapy and making sure that your children are in therapy ASAP if they're not. And sometimes, children, they'll go to therapy for a couple of sessions and then they're done. They don't need to go anymore, and that's fine. But we always like to make sure that that's a resource, and that would probably be the first step. Now, you might have some backlash from the other side if you say, hey, we need to get our child into therapy. No, we don't believe in that, or something like that. That might be a circumstance where you need to move forward with the court and ask for some more orders with the court. But I mean, these are all real problems that happen every day, and it's just going to really depend on your facts and what toll that's having on your children. And sometimes putting them in therapy can really not only explain that, but it's another level of protection for children because they have a safe space to then communicate that with a professional who is also, by the way, a mandatory reporter. So if there's something scary and the conspiracy theories are going to an unhealthy or a detrimental level, then the court can do something about it.
Yeah, I think regarding the conspiracy theories, they could be instilling a lot of fear in those children.
Right.
Unknowingly or not intentionally. And that could definitely take a negative impact on them. So
yeah, and it could also be the sign of an underlying mental health issue or something like that that needs to be addressed.
Right, and having a therapist, a safe space for them to feel like they can go and say anything to without judgment, and that maybe finding solutions, coping, working it through is priceless, really.
Yeah, and it's a great resource. It really is.
So, do you know what time it is now?
Is it time to wrap?
It is time to wrap it up.
All right. Well, it has been so fun to have you with me, Cam. Thank you for standing in for Kristen. I know you come on all the time, but we love having you.
I love being on. I love you ladies. You are definitely an inspiration for me, and I love being part of the show.
Well, thank you again for being here, and thank you to all our listeners for listening in this Saturday and every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. on Go Country 105. Make sure to give us a call if you have any questions at 1-800-419-7772. That's 1-800-419-7772. And remember, let love rule.